And here we go again. This last week I was given a piece of paper by one of our members that said, have a look at this. And I did. And it was a really good program which I felt it would be great to share with people. It's from NASA, the North Atlantic Space Administration, I believe that stands for. So let's go there and have a look at it, and we can talk more as we download this particular app. It's, oh dear, let's put it straight in because I have the address here, https://eyes. As you can see, I've been there before because it's come up exactly as I want it, eyes.nasa.gov, without the E, just gov, and that will take us to NASA's Eyes. And immediately you don't have to look very far to download the app to get started, so we'll do that. We'll just click on it, it'll download the app. Now we don't need to be on the internet to set it up, or at least activate that app. Yes, yeah, there's one where I was before. Anyway, we can just agree there's hardly any license to read. If you want to look at it, copyright 29 to 2017, California Institute of Technology, all rights reserved, United States government sponsorship acknowledged. Any commercial use of this must be negotiated with the Office of Technology Transfer at the California Institute, blah blah blah. If you accept the terms of this agreement, I agree. So maybe, I don't know if we need to get permission to just show people about this. All rights reserved. Okay. Don't think we do. I think it's fairly easy just to advertise it for people. So we'll put all the details straight in. It only takes a short while to load it in. There we go, and we can finish there. And that puts a little icon on the desktop called NASA's Eyes. Now if we click that, or double click it I should say, we're going to get little windows. We get eyes on the Earth, eyes on the solar system, and eyes on exoplanets. So I'm only going to go into the start for today. If you would like to know a little bit more about the other two groups, then please feel free to give me a request either on YouTube or at my email address known to the people of the club. We can do featured modules from the eyes of the solar system. These are the Cassini tour, solar eclipse, Juno mission, and eyes on Pluto, which we sort of followed the Pluto space adventures over several months, and we all found it very, very interesting. Anyway, for today I'm just going to click on Eyes on the Earth and click the Start button, and this will load in another little app onto your computer, which doesn't take best viewed on full screen. So we'll go to full screen. We want the best view possible. This will give us the globe, the world as we see it. By clicking on home, we can, or clicking on the globe I should say, we can rotate it to wherever we want it. We can see the space satellites zooming around the world. Let me just go back again. Let's just pick any one at random here, or nearest to here. We have ISIS. Let's have a look at ISIS. Click to look at this particular satellite. There it is, International Space Station. Let's have a look at this. Compare the size with that of a school bus to start with. Can you see the size of that? I mean, there's a school bus by comparison. This place is massive. Let's compare the size to that of a scientist. Oh, can you see it there? Can you see our little scientist person? The tiniest little blob there in the screen around about here, and that's how big it is compared to a scientist. So gives you a general feeling of the size of this thing. It is enormous. What more can you say about it? And it's just enormous. So we'll go back to the world anyway. We'll just take another view. And of course we've got all these different planets doing all these different jobs. We've got Grace. Now that's an interesting one because that, oh dear, it's run away. Let's catch up with it around the other side of the world. Here comes Grace. Hello, Grace. Now Grace is a small satellite by comparison to that of the International Space Station. Again, we'll have a quick look at comparisons to a school bus. Maybe we're sitting on the bus. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Look, there's the bus. Whoa. It's a massive bus. Just zoom out a little bit. So, there we are. This is, it's only the first, 1, 2, 3, 4 seats on a bus taken up by that. It's certainly not very wide. It probably only is about as wide as the driver's seat. Here, what's he breathing if he's up there? I don't know. Oh, right, none. Okay, so we'll do that and go back again. So that's the, let me click on it again when it comes round, because we can get more information about GRACE. Right, GRACE is the Twin Gravity and Climate Experiment. It measures Earth's gravity field, providing data on water and ice distribution. And, okay, we know about that. Have a look at another one there. SMAP is a Soil Moisture Active Passive mission to produce a high-resolution global maps of soil moisture and to track the water availability around our planet. Let's have a look at that. There is a lot of water. I don't need a satellite to tell me that, because half of the world visible from the Pacific side of things is water. Let's have a look at the planet, the satellite itself. It's not the biggest one in the world, that's for sure. It's the biggest one in space. No, there it is. Let's compare that to our bus. There it is. Quite an amazing little thing, really, because it tells us, it gathers data literally second by second. And let's go back, get the world around. The next one I find particularly interesting. If I click on Visible Earth, there we go. This gives us basically the weather conditions around. This is live as well. This is the way it is. October the 19th, 2017, 03:42 p.m. This is that's GMT. Yeah, we can see where the UK is, and we have this great big storm front which is hovering around the country at the moment. That's going to bring us a lot of rain, because you can tell this by the darkness in the clouds here. Big heavy clouds means lots of rain. Over here, not quite sure where that is. Oh, it's round about North America and round about New York. We'll say the Great Lakes border of Canada. Lovely clear day, because we can see it clear from space. There's no cloud coverage, which does mean that the sun can get right through. Actually, the daytime's just about dawning there at this moment in time, so that's really cool. Let's have a look at the next one. Global temperature. Right, there's the global temperature around our planet. That's North America. Let's just turn back a bit to the UK. Yeah, so it's sort of mild. It was about 15 degrees, I think it was, on my weather map information. 14, 15. So here, this is the centre of the Sahara. Don't know what temperature it is there. Pardon the language, but bloody hot is probably what the temperature is there. And right across the centre of the globe, really, equatorial stuff and around there. I mean, the whole planet just round there is roasting hot, apart from where I am, where it's freezing. No, I'm just getting carried away with myself. So yeah, there's the UK. Its climate is okay for this time of the year. Can't grumble. Okay, so we'll take that away and we'll pop into carbon dioxide. There is the carbon dioxide levels as we can see them from space. As you can say, pretty critical across the world. Maybe, is this Finland over here, Iceland, maybe just around, no, there's Iceland. Round about the North Pole it's not too bad. Round about the South Pole itself, the polar regions are maybe questionable as to the content of carbon dioxide. Be surprised when we go to carbon monoxide. It takes a moment just to come up initially. Not a whole lot of it around. It would seem like, where are we on here? This is France, Germany. This is into Russia and down. I suppose that's into India, isn't it? The Indian continent or subcontinent. China, especially there, as we move through. Terrible carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. It's quite surprising. Go around the back of the globe here and we see these lovely areas of deep blue, which would imply there is hardly any. So, is man causing this? I don't know. You have to decide yourself. I'm not going to get political on you, and I don't do things like that, but to see the green and maybe the yellows, okay, that's topping it out a bit, but London itself down here in the south is particularly poor with carbon monoxide from, I would say, sort of Aberdeen across to Edinburgh, from Glasgow to Edinburgh. Lovely strip down there as far as Hull southwards and maybe Aberdeen northwards. So it's lovely shades of green. So that means there's not a whole lot of carbon monoxide in the atmosphere. Let's have a look at something else. Sea level. Now this one I don't really understand too much. We have a satellite going around measuring, and the map shows the example of the average sea level variation over a 1 month period. Red and yellow areas indicate regions of higher sea level. That's the warmer water. Sea level height reflects the amount of heat stored in the water. This is a global view of a large scale changes in the ocean conditions, and it provides scientists with a critical tool for predicting climate events and tracking global climate change. As we know, we had a lot of hurricanes very recently, and you can see on this map the orange areas, red areas in fact, where the warmer waters have fueled hurricanes, which is what they do. Very interesting. You get the map yourself, read the little notes on it, because it'll tell you everything you need to know about certain aspects. Let's have a look at the next one. Soil moisture. Quite an unusual thing, you would think. As you can see, moisture in our soil. Quite surprised that the UK has a lot of moisture. Not so much a lot, but has a standard amount. Northern Ireland and Ireland itself, very few areas of Ireland have a standard amount of soil moisture. The rest has got lots, particularly wet. Compare that, if you will, to the Sahara Desert. No moisture at all, apart from little bits and pieces. And then again, central South Africa, lots of water again, plenty there, but go down to the extreme south, towards Cape Town and around there, you've got very little water in the soil itself. Excellent stuff if you're interested in that sort of thing. Water and ice. Let's have a look at this. Wow. Now I don't fully understand this picture either. It's got all the lumps and the bumps in it, but it's data from the NASA's GRACE satellites, which are used to create these maps of Earth's gravity field. Areas on the map coloured blue indicate places where gravity is slightly stronger than normal. White and red areas denote places where gravity has become weaker. So yeah, there seems to be lots and lots of variation. You wouldn't even think it varied, but it does. Data shows scientists to track the movement of water and ice on the planet, because the changes in ice thickness or land water content can cause slight variations in gravity that can be measured by the sensitive GRACE satellite. And we just saw a GRACE satellite going over just a moment ago. I could try to catch it up, or I could just wait a minute, it'll come back round. Because this is what the satellites do, don't you know? They keep coming round and round. Let's have a look on this map. See if we can find a GRACE satellite. I think we looked at one earlier on, which I believe we saw. It wasn't particularly large. It wasn't taking up lots and lots and lots of space. Let's have a look. Here's GRACE. Let's have a click on it. Here's a GRACE number 1. This is the first satellite. This is the one we started off with pretty much. Let's compare it to a scientist. Compare size to scientist. So as you can see, you know, scientist stood beside it. So it's maybe about 4, maybe 5 foot tall, 5 foot high I should say, and probably 5, 10, 12 foot wide or something like that. So it's not the biggest satellite ever launched into space, but it seems to have a whole lot of information thrown back towards the planet. So what else do we need to know about this? You've got to get it. You've got to download it yourself to try and understand some of the stuff. But it is fascinating. I mean, I sat here when I first got it, and it took me quite a while to actually fully appreciate all the little clicks and the buttons you can do. We can speed the rotation of the Earth up quite considerably. That's that's I don't know, maybe that's the way you imagine it turning, but it's not. If we can actually go to real time. This is real time now, and everything's stopped by the look of it. So exactly what it is, 1 second per second, I don't know, maybe it's 1 second as in the geographic map, every second, I don't know. I know that when we set the speed to 5 minutes for every second, we can then see a momentary difference. That is 60 minutes per second on the map. So there we go. You'll work it all out for yourselves, I'm sure. We can click on missions. So if you want to know, you see all these planets, there's Landsat 8 there, and Cygnus 4, and Xiaomi, NBP, Cygnus, etc. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at Landsat 8 here. We click on that. Landsat 8 is the next generation Landsat satellite to ensure continued acquisition and availability of the Landsat-like data beyond the duration of older Landsat missions. Okay, let's find out what the Landsat missions do. Bump data set. Can't see it on here. Maybe I just misunderstood that a little bit. Lot, whatever. Landsat 7. Right, Landsat 7 uses powerful sensors to capture stunning images of the Earth's surface and reveals some of the effects of global change. Because the globe is changing daily, as we've said that we're a bit earlier on in one of the earlier demos. Let me just can I shrink this down very easily? Yeah, there we go. Remember when I showed you the IRIS earthquake monitor? Let me click on that. So here, this is a ring of fire, as they say. There's Australia. Let's just zoom around a bit to the western side of America and South America. This is where the ring of fire is, geographically. Every time there's a volcanic eruption, I'll close that again, open it up again, and go to where I was again. Temperamental when it comes to clicking. So we can see earthquakes. The red ones, as I said in the demonstration, they are red to show they've happened today. The orange ones were yesterday's, and the yellow ones past 2 weeks. The little pink ones that you can see, which sort of illuminate the ring of fire, and other. In fact, you scan around this globe. Oh dear. I'm just going to bring it up again. Be a bit more careful where I'm clicking this time. Go to the other side, and we get this, the large screen view. That's what I was after. So there's the Earth laid out flat for us. The ring of fire is all the way around the Pacific here, but it does show all the little areas. It doesn't show just the ring of fire. It can show the North Atlantic plate and all the other geographical plate. I think it's called the Eurasian plate and South American plate. Yeah, so they're all there, all the plates that you hear about, tectonic plates that you hear about, connected with earthquakes and what have you. Let's have a, this is again today. Let's just click on, I don't know if there's interactive actually, this map, so I might need to go back and go to this one where it can show us that exactly the same point, except it's a bit interactive. There's been another earthquake there today. There was only one earlier on when I did an earlier recording. If I click onto that, it will show us 19th of October. There was a 5.1 earthquake in the northern mid-Atlantic ridge. There is lots of information. This page does look like, oh dear, this doesn't tell us much. We'll click on it and it will show you the Google map and satellite map of this area. Let's go to map, and we could it's just still loading up, so sort of digress just a little bit here. Maybe satellite might be quicker. Anyway, this is part of Google Map. It can show you exactly where the earthquake occurred, and it's very, very similar to what we have here, except in far more detail. Both the products, the ISIS thing I was just looking at with the earthquakes, and this Eyes on the World, they're all NASA projects, and I must say they are well worth supporting, well worth maybe going into and have a look. Download them, poke around in them. You're not going to damage it. Let me just click on here. I'm not quite sure. Get off this menu. Autoplay city names on. That'll tell you where places are. I wish I'd have known that earlier. National parks. So you should now see Yellowstone somewhere here. Never ceases to amaze me on this map. Little things you can click on, and little things we can find out. Telescopic mode. That's 3D. You need your cinema glasses on to read this, I think, and then you get a 3D visual. I haven't tried that, must admit. Switch to degree C. Exit the program to Eyes main menu. So we'll go back there. Okay, bumpity bumpity bump. A couple of minutes later, so we have had a look in the eyes of the Earth. There is still the eyes of the solar system and the eyes in the exoplanets. I mean, the thing of the eyes in the solar system, I'll just click on simple. I'll just give you a quick preview of that, and I'm sure you want to get in there, download it and have a look yourself. Don't really need to do a whole lot here. I need to talk over it a bit so as you know what's going on and know it hasn't crashed. But yeah, it's loading a lot of data, as you can see, 98%, 99%.
On the solar system, where you can explore your planetary neighborhood.
I don't know if you can hear that very well, but that gives you a conducted tour with a audio track on there to just to explain little things about it. If you'd have clicked the more detailed advanced version, just let it come up again, the advanced version, you need to know a little bit more than probably any basic thing. Go through the simple, hear what he has to say, learn a little about it, then click on the advanced to get the finer details. Same with the start of the exoplanets. There is lots to see. I can't exaggerate it enough. I can't tell you enough about exactly what we have to do in this thing. But if you want to keep your eyes on space and know what's happening in the world around you and beneath you, you know, what's happening in the water just down the road a little bit, this is a program you need to download and have a look at it. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration as much as I have learning about it. It's taken a couple of weeks just to get to know where to poke and where not to poke, and even now, as you saw during the demonstration, little bits and pieces, you're still learning. I can still learn lots from this, and I certainly will not be packing it away and forgetting about it in a hurry. So please enjoy it. I'll put the details on how to get there at the end of the demonstration, but meanwhile, thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll click on the subscribe button and follow my YouTube events. That's following Howard L. Hall on YouTube, and I'll keep you up to date as much as I can with free software. Okay, bye for now.